Let's see what the Bloomberg Open tells us today. Good morning. A semblance of calm returns to markets after sanctions failed to shock. Isn't that funny? I think in the last video I was reading the Morning Brew and I was like, do sanctions even work? Inflation obsessed investors are piling into commodities, and Phil Mickelson says sorry after his Saudi relative expletive cost him. And what's the futures? The futures look green. Nasdaq green. Futures green. Yield. There's some green, I guess. Dollar going down. Dollar index. Okay. What's happening now? The market's move shifted back to risk on as initial Western sanctions on Russia dispelled concern about a tougher response. U.S. futures and European equities rose, while gold and the dollar dipped as haven demand ebbed. Treasuries fell, oil slipped, and Bitcoin climbed. Russia left the door open to further talks with President Putin, saying he's all ready to pursue diplomatic solutions as long as Russia's interests and securities are guaranteed. EU ministers meet today to approve the legal document outlining sanctions. Ukraine will seek to impose a state of emergency. The Kremlin says it had no plans for further action. It seems like the market doesn't need... You see how they play us, you guys? Like, they were saying this was a big deal and now it's not a big deal. The market sucks. Central banks are watching. The BOE, Andrew Bailey, said the crisis presents upside risk to inflation, while the ECB's Francois Villeroy emphasized the need for flexibility in the face of worsening tensions. Traders, meanwhile, revived bets for a Fed rate increase of 50 basis points next month, with some noting Ukraine woes will exacerbate inflation pressures by ratcheting up energy prices. And nobody wants to hear that, you guys. Everything is so expensive. The other day I went to go eat tacos. They're like $2.25 now. It's crazy. No wonder commodities are so hot. Investors are pumping more money into raw material funds than at any time in the last decade. Enticed by a futures market that's offering big profits, traders are also seizing an opportunity to seek a hedge against all the above-mentioned inflation. Problem is, all the attention may be further stonking the price rally. The U.S. maternal mortality rate, already high compared to the other wealthy countries, has increased, with black women faring far worse than their white peers, according to the CDC. Disturbing figures. In 2020, 861 women died of maternal causes, up from 754 in 2009. That puts the maternal mortality rate in 2020 at 23.8 deaths per 100,000 live births, more than double the rate in countries such as the UK, France, or Canada. I would say that backwards. What's behind? The U.S. doesn't have universal health care or standard paid maternity leave, both of which would contribute to better maternity health outcomes. Women facing extra hardships such as lack of accessible and affordable Medicare and discrimination within the healthcare system may have also contributed. Wow, this is kind of sad. Like, people are trying to have babies and they're dying, all because of their race. And it really sucks. We're the biggest country in the world and we don't have like a good healthcare system. Why? What to watch? Gamers, this one's for you. Activision will delay its 2023 release of Call of Duty on concern. New versions are being introduced too quickly. People familiar with said it's a big deal. Every fall since 2005, Activision has put out a new entry in the lucrative shooting series. The game's regularly top yearly sales chart and have sold more than 400 million units since 2003. Finally, you guys, I'm so happy for this. I actually did not buy the last Call of Duty Vanguard because the one before that, I don't know, man. I just tired of it. It's the same thing every year. It's different maps, like. Whatever. Alibaba faces a delay of its own. The company is said to have mothballed plans to raise $1 billion for Lazada after failing to secure its envisioned valuation. While Alibaba remains intent on eventually spinning off and listing the Southwest East Asia unit, competition in the e-commerce space is heating up and the market remains volatile. Earnings. Lowe's boosted its EPS forecast and said it sees full-year comparable sales of -1 to +1. TJX also reported before the bell, eBay is in focus after hours, with investors looking for insights on the post-pandemic growth trajectory. Hertz is another name to watch. And I'm kind of interested in eBay. I don't know if you guys see TikTok, but so many people are reselling. They're going to like yard sales and stuff, and they're reselling stuff on eBay. So I wonder, like, that became big. I wonder if that's going to help them. Big take. Goldman cultivated close ties with the departing execs for decades, nurturing the world's most powerful corporate alumni network. Former employees would often establish lucrative second careers and then enlist Goldman for advice, deals, and trades, but new pressures are leading to strained exits, with the bank wanting bonuses back as punishments for jumping ships. Opinion. We're trapped in Putin's alternative reality, writes Andreas Kluth. There was a time in the early years of his reign when Putin surrounded himself with advisors who gave diverse views of the world when he spoke to foreign leaders and actually listened to them. Now, isolated and surrounded by psychopaths, he may have lost touch with the real world. That might spell disaster. I mean, he's been in power for so long. It's crazy. This guy's so lucky. Luckiest guy in the world. The West and Russia have an interest in keeping commodities out of the battle for now, writes Javier Blas. The West continues to buy oil and gas from Russia, knowing they're a cash cow for Putin and his ambitions, but also aware of the economic self-harm of cutting imports to zero. And Russia knows commodity exports are the economic lifeline. By the way, is it too late to say sorry? Phil Mickelson apologized for what he called reckless comments made about the Saudis and a proposed golf Super League. The AP reported the six-time major champion said in November that the Saudis involved in the rival venture were a scary mother to get involved with, but it was worth overlooking the country's human rights abuses for the chance to change the PGA Tour. Sponsors KPMG's severe ties with Mickelson following his remarks. And you really got to, like, when you're a celebrity, you really have to watch what you say, because people will chew you up. That's one of the bad things about being on social media and in the spotlight, right? Like me, I know when I read these newsletters to you guys, I mess up. And, I'm pretty sure the comment section is going to keep having a blast when they hear me read. But the big question, what happens when we die? Scientists may be closer to finding out after accidentally recording a dying brain while using an electrical activity monitor on an 87-year-old patient who then suffered a heart attack, the PA reported. The rhythmic brain wave patterns recorded during the time of death were observed to be similar to those occurring during dreaming, memory recall, and meditation, suggesting we may recall key life events as we pass on. Wow. And I really hate talking about death, you guys. This is one of those subjects that I do not want to talk about, but it's very interesting, you guys. I wish we could all live forever, but that was today's, what was it? This was the Bloomberg Open, right? So they have a lot to tell us. Very interesting. Completely different information from like the Morning Brew, and that's why I like having both of them and reading both of them. If you enjoyed this, make sure you hit the like button, and if you want to keep seeing me read or hearing me read some of these newsletters to you, make sure to subscribe.